Oh, hi, peoples. Welcome. Welcome aboard. Welcome back to the next angst-filled, drama-filled session of Esolar Shadows of Defiance. We left off at a very interesting point.
Trauma? I hardly know her.
So you make it sound like we're horrific people.
No, we're just trauma-ridden. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any announcements?
I do, but we'll do it later.
I'm afraid.
Not
Is
during
this
announcement
something
time.
that I was like,
Oh!
is this that? Okay. Don't worry about it.
If anyone...
They're all too excited. I am scared.
So,
Why?
does anyone have any announcements whatsoever?
We are going to continue with Esolar as we are going forward. Things might be a little bit finicky schedule-wise, just because I now need to find a new place to live. I expect that I will need to continue this every other week. Just be aware that I might be a little bit out of it with some of my planning. So just be aware going forward.
So, my announcement is, I have a surprise for you, Sarah. If you'd like to switch to the actual stream, please, and if everyone could do that, please, that'd be grand. Either on your
I'm
phone.
gonna come peek over Ethan's shoulder. Hold on.
Yeah, that'd be a little hard for her to do.
Yeah.
I'm on a phone.
Goddamn ads.
Now they can hear you twice.
Oh wait, no. So.
Is that better?
Yeah, all good.
Now I can just hear myself.
I mean, once it gets through the ad.
Yep. Like, just let me know when the ads are done.
You have me nervous.
Nervous.
You have no reason to be nervous.
I've been hella
I have
excited.
no reason to be nervous.
Just you know. Rude.
I said me and Helen.
Okay, I'm on it.
You don't know what we're talking about.
All right.
Listen, we were all a part of that group, my guy.
Oh, right. I forgot about the other group.
Right. I will be honest with you, Sarah. I made a separate group chat excluding you for this surprise. Because this is a surprise for you.
Don't feel too left out. I was also left out until the very end after it was all done.
Yeah, that was a fuck up on my part. That was a oops.
Oh, good.
But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to our stream intro video. we go.
It looks really good, but I'm sitting here pouting because I didn't get to hear any of it. Not from y'all, it's because my phone can't handle Twitch and Discord at the same time. But it looked very good.
That was really weird. Did that only happen for me?
What?
Hmm?
I heard her once in real life, then in my ear, and then I heard her again. I heard her 3 times technically.
Twitch
What,
and
now I
real
can hear
life,
myself?
real life Discord Twitch.
yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. I forgot to turn off the audio.
So
Oh,
I was like, why am I hearing her that many times?
that's
so
awesome.
Oh
I just
man.
spelled my name wrong, but that's okay.
Mitch, how could you?
Everyone does. But it was beautiful.
Oh, is there an O instead of an E?
It says ON instead of EN.
Oh,
Oh,
But you know what? In 1 year, it won't matter.
nope.
In 1 year, I go from one difficult to spell name to another difficult to spell name.
But yeah,
That's so cool,
intro for you.
guys. Y'all.
I made sure that everyone was okay with me using their names for this because I thought, as this is an official intro video, like I think like names would be a good use of it instead of social handles. But yeah,
That was awesome. That was really awesome, guys. Cool. Cool.
that was a labor of love because I I was like, okay, what's a good like sweet spot for an intro?
That was the perfect. You're right. That is the perfect song for the intro. That is great.
Oh, like when I heard that song, like that was our intro song. Like, but then I was like, oh, I have an idea now. I had I had to splice it a little bit because I didn't want a 3-minute long intro video.
Yeah.
But I hope I know that Helen and Ethan saw it, and but I hope you all enjoyed it as well.
It was really cool.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's go underway. And yes, that would be done every stream.
yeah. Let's get back to
Do
Satan
we-
being that stupid.
Side note, do we have a Brian? Is he just off camera?
He's just off camera.
Yeah,
Okay.
he can hear us. He's just off camera at the moment.
That's fine. I just want to make sure. I figured, but I was like, I want to make sure he's actually there. Alive, breathing, you know.
Oh,
Dead.
considering the circumstances, who wants to give the summary for inspiration? Who wants to do the recap?
I did last time, so not yet.
Yeah, you have.
Brian, are you touching your nose?
And I am the one who just watched the goddamn. Okay, so last time on Esolar, we started out with a little Mario noise, ding, level up. So we're level 6 now. We showed off a bit of our new skills to each other. And then we went to see what everyone was doing after a nice little 3-day time skip. Sagan is extremely tired as he hasn't slept in a few days, watching over his friend. Elliot won't stay in bed because, Axe's arm is right there. Jules has been out on business. Athena, I believe, was finding her friend and catching up with him. Axe has been in bed because, pull through the leg. Not good feeling.
Broken femur as well. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, that's right. It went through the bone. No,
Yeah, yeah. That leg is.
He's not in good shape.
No.
Biggest bone in your body, BT Dubs.
Mm-hmm. After kind of catch up on everybody's 3-day little adventure, we get Sagan's sister, I believe, Belianos? No,
Friend?
Beliana, childhood friend.
childhood friend. Sorry. Yeah, Beliana shows up with a bunch of supplies from Malewa, and we distribute it throughout the camp and have a nice little. I wanted to say meet and greet, but that's not quite what it was. It was more of an eat and find out that this was done on purpose. The felling of
Elysia.
Elysia. Oh my god.
Eat and rage.
Yes, very much rage. After kind of coping with everything and learning a little bit more information, we decided we needed more information before we actually did anything. So we decided to set up for the evening, and some of us decided to get experimented on. Others decided to do a little experimenting with weapons, and we set up a nice little magically obscured housing away from the camp, in which we had some very bad news. Athena learned that she may have played a significant role in the terrorist act, and Jules attempted to calm her down. And then Sagan showed up and also learned of this detail, and went into a little bit of a rage, and took Athena by the neck and lifted her in the air. And that is where we left off.
Also, side note, I have just something in my notes that just says pay your fucking taxes. I have no recollection of why it's there or where it came from.
That, if I recall correctly, is when we were setting up the Lima's tiny hut and the circle obfuscation, was something Brian said out to the guards who happened to be seeing all of this. So yeah, that was a moment.
Was that related to It's Okay, We're Friendly?
Yep.
Yes, that was
Okay.
that was right in
I
that
remember
line.
this now. I just was looking down there. I was like, pay your fucking taxes. I mean, yes, but why? Question mark.
Because
I
we're
mean,
friendly.
yes. I mean, yes, but why?
Why? I also have rage sketching on here, which I think was Elliot, maybe? Question mark.
Rage?
Rage
It says
sketching.
rage.
Yeah, that
sketching.
probably was Elliot.
That was Elliot.
Anyway, carry on.
So, as we stand still within the Lehman's tiny hut, this tense moment as Sagan has grabbed Athena by the neck. What is everybody doing?
Choking. Lots of choking.
Jules reacts immediately, seeing this happen, and attempts to stop Sagan
Yeah.
and get him to drop
I
Athena.
was gonna say Emerson would probably run in there too.
Okay. Jules, what are you doing?
Jules would like to go in with a punch to the sternum and a chop to the arm, both being stunning strikes, in an attempt to just get Sagan off Athena.
Drop
Okay,
it.
I'd say you probably would have better access to like the side, because I'm sure Sagan has like this, not not out,
I was gonna say I was
yeah,
thinking
no,
more
like,
something
not like
from the
that, but like
like
I-
close.
like
So you probably would have better access to the side ribs.
Okay,
was gonna-
that's fine.
But
That's-
that's,
rib shot
what
is
I was
is always
thinking
good.
as
what about what about Emerson? What's Emerson doing?
I had been thinking about she was talking about coming from this tournament stuff, and I had been thinking more along the back or sides before she
Okay.
said anything.
So while Jules is going for one shot, you are coming around.
I
at
guess
the
we
back.
could just be on him from each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
both
that
of you
flanking
roll.
situation?
Both
Yeah,
of you
there
roll
you
an
go.
attack roll with advantage because it's technically flanking, and Sagan's hands are occupied.
Okay. Are you gonna do the rolls?
You roll for your strikes.
And then what are
Oh,
you using,
Are
Emerson?
we each use?
Yeah,
Are
you're
we?
each going to roll for your own attack. And then what are you using a weapon, or is this offhanded or unhanded?
I would say probably unarmed.
Unarmed?
Huh?
Unarmed or armed? I couldn't hear you.
Unarmed.
Unarmed. Okay. So you have a button on there that says unarmed strike.
I see you, Helen. I see you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see you too, and I have both fear and excitement.
There's
One of my dice is a 3, but the other one's a natural 20.
So it's the hit slash DC, right?
So first you're just gonna roll that d20 and
Yeah.
add to hit, and you're gonna roll it with advantage.
And then the hit.
And then add the hit
the hit
modifier
bonus.
for unarmed strike.
And then add the hit modifier. Yep.
I didn't get in that 20, but I got close. I got
Also,
19.
max damage.
I got 19 for a total of 23.
I'm assuming 23 hits you, Sagan.
Yeah.
Okay.
um,
What is your unarmed is probably just a number. What does it say?
The damage?
Yeah.
Is 2.
2. All right, so you take 2 points of damage plus
1. I'm raging.
raging. All right, so you take 1 point of damage. Jules, what is
Okay.
your damage?
That would be 6 on the die, so double to 12 plus 4 is 16, and that is magical damage. So I don't know if rage is actually applicable to that.
Is it bludgeoning damage?
It's magical
though?
bludgeoning. Because
I think it applies to that because I think as long as it's bludgeoning, like bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, I still get resistance.
Okay.
So
All
8,
right.
so 9 total.
Yes, and I would also like you to make a DC 15 something save. Trying to figure that out.
Con save?
Probably.
For stun and
Trying
strike.
to find. Yes, con save DC 15.
That's cocked.
There is no mention of whether or not it includes magical weapons, which means that it is still half no matter what.
That is a 19 con save.
Yeah. Another one is if I hit. 10 plus 9. Does a 17 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. Please make another con save for me.
15 on 15 exactly.
Damn it. Okay. That's 5 points of bludgeoning, probably reduced to 2.
Do you round up or down, DM?
I round up.
So 3.
I'm gonna spend another key point.
Don't use the numpad when doing numbers because that switches my scenes.
I'm using 2 more key points to do flurry of blows and another stunning strike.
Okay. In the meantime, Athena,
Mhm.
you are being
Just
choked out.
gasping for air right now.
Yep.
So I will say Sagan is not like actively like constricting. It's enough to kind of be like, yeah, there is a bit of constriction, but there's like it's just that it's almost like a security grip just to be like, now you fucking listen.
But you're also raging, so you're not going to have as much control as you normally would.
This is also.
So I need you to roll me a d6.
Me a d6.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he did roll a natural 1 on his initial impulse roll. If that counts for anything.
Actually, that is true. So he probably has no control. That is a 4.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage right now as your throat is being crushed, Athena. You're taking 4 points of bludgeoning damage just because of this instance.
Oh no.
Cool.
Sagan also takes 4 points of bludgeoning damage on my next attack, because it was 8 reduced to 4, and that was a 19 to hit.
Yep.
And another
It's
con save,
a
please.
surprise attack, so I don't get any reactions to this, do I? Because I failed with flare, right? Correct?
Yes, because you fail with flare.
That's what I thought. I just want to double check.
So,
One
is
more
it?
chance.
Are you doing something in particular to him, or are you just attacking over and over and over again?
I'm attempting to land a stunning strike, which will cause him to go into the stunned state for a round. So
For
we
your-
should be able to get Athena off of him without him struggling.
Yeah, for your perspective, Jules is just wailing on Sagan's side. It's just
Yeah,
like
just-
punching the crap.
Sagan
out
is
of him.
giving no shits. Athena's turning blue.
So,
3 so far, 3 just super fast hits.
so considering the fact that my attack can only do 1 damage to him, is it gonna make much of a difference if I keep trying to attack him?
I actually do have a damage cap for my personal, like my own personal thing, like a damage cap in which Sagan will drop. I did put the damage cap pretty high due to the fact that he is raging and rolled a natural 1 in the impulse roll, so emotions are high.
True.
As well, and raging, emotions high. Adrenaline is a powerful painkiller.
True.
And if you wanted to try something else, you're welcome to. But Axe and Elliot and Friend, are you doing anything?
Oh yeah, no, he is observing all of this going down. He is observing what is happening, and is like, oh, that's and he's going to reach for a little bit of like the new abilities that he knows that he's gained because I just took this spell. I cast command.
Oh!
You can be mad at me later.
Nice.
I cast command. I need you to make me a wisdom save.
A wisdom
DC
save.
15.
DC 15.
Oh,
Look,
Yes.
did you make the con save for my last attack?
I got a
Yeah,
17 on the die.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to use cutting words.
I love this so much.
To detract D4 from what you're saying by essentially calling out like I don't know how well this is gonna work, but you're oh gosh, you're not going to get anywhere doing that. Stop, drop, and subtract 3.
So I rolled a 3 on the die, plus 2, minus 3 is now 2.
Okay.
And you just see Sega just like go stonewall and just drop.
Your neck is now released, and you fall back down to the ground, Athena, with the use of cutting words and command.
The kind of words was not even needed because again I rolled a 3 on the die, but that just made it even more better.
Just had to make absolutely sure of like.
She's
With my
doing,
final-
the whole
sorry.
holding the throat, gasping, like coughs, that whole just got choked thing that people do.
With my final attack, can I catch Athena so she doesn't like crumple into the ground?
We'll say you're able to kind of help guide her back down so she doesn't hurt herself on the way down.
Okay. Just gonna step between them. That's all. Just
How long does command last? Like around.
Once
just
you do it, it's just the round.
Yeah, it's just the round,
I just
and all
wanna
he
let
said
you
was
know-
just drop.
Literally, that's how I've been putting it. I literally and instead of the saying like they tried to stop it, just in the notes it just says their attempt it's like Jules and Emerson are saying no, drop it, and then it just comes the axe magically says drop it, drop it, stop, no.
Jules is the squirt bottle with the water,
Stop
and
it,
Axe
no.
is the angry mom voice. Drop. Is the angry parent going? No.
Out of your mouth.
No, it's not even the angry parent like point and shout. It's the angry mum look.
Well, that's why like it's that there's something about the mother look over the father that is just like so much more intense.
I never had a mother look, but I had a teacher look and I had a teacher voice. And I've actually made my coworkers angry because it says when I use it on them at work sometimes, because it makes them feel like they're in high school again. It's great.
Yeah.
I've used the teacher voice on my dad. It was hilarious.
So Jules is between Sagan and Athena right now. Time for another impulse roll.
Fuck.
By the way, friend is still like napping outside of the tiny hut, but like
Friend gives no shit.
yeah, but their little frog companion is now like hopping aggressively on the chest.
Frog friend.
Frog friend.
But,
Jules, you're lucky. I rolled an 11. You are safe.
For now.
You like
What
one.
are friends' pronouns?
Friends' pronouns are.
they them.
They them? Okay. That's what I thought. I want to make sure.
Yeah, no, you were gonna get a rageful fist to the jaw.
I believe it. I believe it. I was ready for it.
Like, yeah. So
I would like the both of you to roll initiative at this point.
Oh,
well,
fuck.
well, thanks to the impulse roll.
Both of who?
Sagan is
Oh, okay.
like no. So Sagan is still angry, still pissed, still technically raging. Until for the next minute because he took hits. But he's not doing anything. He's just pissed.
Okay, so it would be you have to. It's within the 6 seconds that you have to keep getting the damage because I don't think you're at the level with relentless rage, right? So rage grand total lasts a minute. Yes, unless you do not take damage or give damage within a round.
Yep. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's when you get relentless rage if you go that path.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I read that
So
wrong.
you make a swing, and it's killing me because on Discord I see Jules.
Oh,
It's throwing me off so bad.
there's a button up at the top where you can turn it to grid mode.
Yeah, it says Jules.
Okay, I'm sorry.
When I hover my mouse over the whole screen, I see everyone. I'm like, that's not the right one. So I'm just gonna move my mouse. Bye.
But yeah. So Sagan's not doing anything for now.
Okay. So, Jules, as Sagan takes a swing for you, Jules, you're able to. Did you hit or did you just take a swing?
No. I rolled an impulse roll to see if he
To avoid it.
To see if Sagan would swing. He doesn't swing.
Okay, so he pulls back to it
Like,
and then
you
settles.
could see him like just like it pains him to put his fist down.
We talk about this.
I am going to the forge. And he walks out, goes to the forge.
Okay.
Short talk.
If he can't hit anyone, he'll hit the anvil.
You know what? That's fine. Working off aggression in a healthy way.
Right? If you're gonna hit something inanimate.
Yeah, there you go.
Is anyone gonna attend to Athena, or can Jules?
And Jules, you're more than welcome to. Axe
Well-
is trying to like kind of hobble over there.
I was gonna say I would, but you could probably help more than I can.
I will say, I think probably the first couple of seconds before she realizes does that just adrenaline-driven panic, like pushing away from people until she's like, "Oh, all right, I'm not dying anymore. Okay, this is fine." Kind of. So,
I mean, I feel like standing
right
right there.
get smacked in the face or something. It's not intentional.
I feel like having stood right there helping you with Sagan, I probably would like make sure she's okay
Yeah,
and
I've had it.
everything. But I mean, but
I just don't want to hug the spot.
with your abilities, you could probably like actually help her more than I can.
Oh, I was just gonna turn around and make sure she was okay. Just talk
Yeah,
to her.
no, yeah.
Whoa, what did
I mean, you're better at talking than I. Pretty much everybody is better at talking than me.
What'd you do, Sagan?
No.
What'd you do, Mitch?
So
No, Brian's screen moved.
so
Oh.
basically,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I saw that.
basically, Discord will arrange the people in alphabetical order. So now, Brian is in.
Brian, go back.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just continue. Bear with me, stream, bear with me, stream, as I deal with this. Keep going. Just keep going.
I just wanted the
I
proper
threw my
name.
pencil. I don't know how. It wasn't on purpose. I threw it. That's why I yelled. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jules just kind of turns around in place and goes down into a squat and just kind of checks, make sure you're okay. You're not actually injured. You're still breathing.
Breathing, but it's very like that asthmatic, just that like kind of noise. If that came through at all, kind of
Yes, it
just
did.
that like this hurts a lot, but I'm fine kind of thing. And she's kind of got that like I'm gonna sit for a minute now. I'll sit here now. Kind of look on her face. I'm just like, this is good. This is fine. Not really saying anything. Just kind of like looking at people and acknowledging them, and like sitting is good.
Okay. Just gonna let her be. Not gonna crowd her. Just gonna go walk back over to Elliot and sit down.
I'll have you know that throughout this whole ordeal, Elliot was just kind of like, if I don't move, I won't get involved. Just the more still I am, the less rage is going to be directed.
I
my
don't do
way.
anything, I won't get in trouble.
The rabbit is frozen as
She's
a
based on
response.
movement.
The T-Rex method of don't move. Its vision responds to movement.
Movement, yes.
I'll just give him a little pat on the head like I did when I got up and said, "You may continue."
I imagine the ears are like fully pressed down.
He's like, I just met you people and you guys are already hurting each other. What is wrong with you? Just...
Trauma, dear. Trauma's what's wrong with us.
Oh, yeah. Same hat. He's just. Yes.
Friend, make a perception check for me with disadvantage because you are sleeping, but your frog friend is trying to wake you up.
Does the frog do little angry bunny thumps too?
But it's a web one, so it makes like a slap sound instead.
I was gonna say it's in rain frogs, so it goes meh.
Oh,
It's the. What did you roll?
I have soda in my nose.
oh no!
Are you okay?
And now Athena's choking for real.
I heard that as I took a sip.
And now Athena's choking for real.
Not choking, it just burns. It burns.
Okay. We've all seen Tangled. This Oh, we have not all seen Tangled. Okay. This little frog is like trying to like
Helen, you have homework.
wake
I'm sorry, I don't
Friend
do Disney stuff.
jumping on the chest. It's a good one though. And then does the whole like goes to like over the shoulder and then like sticks the tongue in the ear and friend just like shoots open.
Would you stop?
Sagan, where are you going? Bye. Be safe.
As Sagan's wandering off. And you can hear the still slight cough of Athena as everyone's gathered around her with concern.
Oh.
So Fred will go and like to the door of the Lehman's tiny hut and like peek in and be like, hey, where did Sagan go? What is happening right now?
There was violence.
Yeah. We found out some interesting pieces of stuff, and it was presented to Sagan in a way that incited his upset for everything we've recently been through. And do you, to Athena, do you want a little like something to help smooth that over? I've got a couple of basic spells.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Kaboom. Roll a
Wait.
d8, nod.
Did Sagan hurt somebody?
Yeah.
Kind of took Athena by the throat in a fit of rage.
Hold on.
2d8 plus 4 if you want to roll it for yourself.
Friend
Friend,
just
maybe
turns
give him some
around and walks,
space.
just turns around, starts walking out of Liam and Tiny Hut after Sagan.
Reaches to grab something since I'm near-ish the door. I'm just like, no, he needs some space. Give him like 5 minutes.
So friend looks at the barrier and knows that he can't cross it, or they can't cross it. So they just yell out, "You big movie pants!
You what?
Big what?
You big meaty pants!"
Sagan.
There's the next note.
As you are storming angrily out of the hut, out of the black clouds, back towards the camp, towards the forge, you actually do get kind of stopped by the guards because this is the second time you've come and gone very quickly from that area. And they're like, should we be worried about? And that's when you hear you big meanie pants.
Like, you know when you see red when you're angry, and you know when you're angry you kind of like every other sound is muffled out, kind of like that. So all he hears is that's all Sagan hears. But as soon as the guards say something, because they're like right there in periphery, Sagan just gives this look of,
As you were.
and continues walking.
Does that mean we should check it out? I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm sure it's
The question is, gentlemen, do you get paid enough to care?
For real.
like slightly gripping their weapons a little harder.
They're scared concerns and have many questions.
Oh, listen,
Which
by
are
any
above their pay grade.
exactly by any bystanders standards, they'd just be like, yes, Sagan got kicked out of the club.
No, you know what it is. It's in like it's that moment in Force Awakens where the stormtroopers come up to Kylo Ren raging and just nopes.
They
Just turn around.
slowly
Nope.
start backing.
It's like, and nope. Don't get paid enough.
So back at the bubble, after having yelled out,
Meanwhile,
days.
back at the camp.
what are you all doing?
Sorry. Let me finish my note and I'll tell you. Hold on.
Do you need
Well, that
healing?
was eventful.
Are you okay?
Is that at me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you need healing?
I think Axe just did the lulus.
Just gotta cure wounds.
Is everybody else okay? Okay.
Luckily, nobody else got hit. Just Sagan and Athena.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. I don't know why I started to say thank you.
For those who weren't at Through the Weave, a little side note. Any Saturday that we don't play, we do a little talk show. Live for anyone who can join. The show is called Through the Weave. Last time I Through the Weave, Ethan had so many mic.
I had so many technical glitches.
So many mic issues that someone in chat was just like, take a shot anytime they have a mic issue, and we're just like, no, we don't want to die. Thank you.
No, I can't do that. I'm not a lightweight, but I can't take that many.
No, I don't think anyone can. Even that's.
And you're just gonna not have a great night after.
True story. Oh yeah, I didn't tell. Well, I can tell you all that later. Just remind me to tell you about after last week.
Oh my.
Fine.
You were sober when I came home.
I really wasn't.
By your standards.
Don't worry about it. We can talk about it later. I'm gonna use Mitch's idea here. Back on track. Come on.
Did somebody say quack on track?
Get out. Get out.
Wasn't me this time.
Get out.
What happens when you have so many ADHD people?
Just come back. Oh lordy.
I really hope there's somebody actually watching right now.
All right, friends, clap once if you can hear me. Sorry, I'll pull that move.
What have
Good
I
job.
done?
Thanks for not listening.
I
You
regret
fucked up.
every decision I've ever fucking made.
You love us.
Yeah.
Now, where actually were we?
Hold on. Oh wait, mistakes were made.
Because I genuinely don't remember.
Friend is outside of the Lehman's tiny hut, but inside the dome, kind of like staring angrily off at where Sagan left, and like petting the frog friend.
There we go. My thing just decided it was not going to be attached to my earbuds anymore because fuck that. So we're good now.
Is there any conversation that you guys are thinking about as we're in this hut, or?
Elliot already saw one person go after Sagan and see it go terribly wrong. Elliot views himself as a neutral party, and he's like, I could do that. I could go talk to him. That's something I could do. So that's probably what he's gonna go attempt to do terribly.
Okay.
With his one brain cell, it's fine.
But the question is, are any of the rest of us going to allow him to go by himself?
No.
Is Elliot sneaking away, or is Elliot just walking away?
He's not announcing he's leaving. He doesn't see a reason to. He's just, I'm gonna go now. It just goes. It just leaves.
Jules would probably see that, Elliot's not working on him anymore.
That's true.
And follow.
He's
Because I couldn't
taking
remember
Albert
whether he
with
was.
him.
I couldn't remember whether Elliot was doing something with Jules or Axe. But it was
He was
Jules.
ins-
Oh, okay.
inspecting me, I believe. At least before we got it.
Oh yeah,
The whole
before
situation.
all this
Yeah,
happened.
that's true.
And before all this
I
happened,
we had a
and
little bit of
while
a
this was
distraction there.
happening- While this was happening, Elliot switched to working in the notebook. What was Elliot doing uh after Jules sat back down? Did you stay in the notebook or did you go back to Jules? Because that would make a difference
No,
as to whether or
it
not.
was after the argument. He probably just couldn't go back to the notebook because like his focus was broken. So it's just kind of just sitting. You know, when you're sitting there with your book and you're not doing it, and you just
You're just staring at
and
it.
then he leaves. It's
In
just
that
I'm
case-
thinking.
In that case, I would just it's not that you're sneaking away, but you are leaving without announcing it. Just roll a stealth check.
Okay. Oh boy, he's a sneaky boy. What is my stealth? What is where are you? +5, dirty 20.
Okay. Okay. What's everyone's passive perceptions?
17.
16. I feel like would mine be disadvantaged since I'm just still like
Well,
recovering?
it's a passive perception, not an active perception, because no one knows to be keeping an eye on the rabbit that might be running away.
That's fair.
If I recall correctly, Axis is the highest with 18.
Well, no, friend over here has 23. So friend notices, friend watches as the bunny's like you're standing staring out into the darkness that you've created where Sagan left as a small rabbit walks past you.
Bye.
Welcome back.
Okay. Be
Is
safe.
anyone else in the tent having conversation, doing anything?
Lean back, rub leg.
Probably she's not like hurting as much anymore and is breathing better, but she's probably just kind of absorbing everything that happened, everything she said, everything that came after, and so on and so forth, worming her way through all of that in her head. So she's probably mad zoned out at the floor right now, just kind of two moons over right now.
Jules is probably just watching Athena just to gauge what's happening and make sure, they're not going down a bad way. And if they need to intervene or anything. So
Make an insight check.
Oh, okay. Insights +4, 23.
Say that one more time.
23.
Okay, very nice. What is with a 23? Well, roll a deception check, or are you just like not able to control your Athena? Athena, would you be able to hold on? Let's keep it at that. All right. Would you be able to like hide whatever you're feeling, or do you think like your dissociating is pretty?
I would say at this point it's pretty. It's not 100% like they're not okay kind of vibe, but it's definitely she's not hiding it either. Like, oh, you need space. You're got it. Kind of vibe.
Then with a 23, is there anything extra that Jules might be able to read off of that?
I'm mainly just looking to make sure you're not spiraling.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it.
probably the tiniest hint of panic, but more a lot of worry, a lot of deep internalized worry about many things that both past and present things are being worried about right now.
All right.
Okay. If that's all that we've got going on inside the bubble, we will head outside of the bubble. Sagan, you start storming back towards the forge that you just left. You had gone there to just, be there for a little bit, use some of their supplies. You left not even 20 minutes ago, and now you're back. Oh, you're that quick, huh?
Respectfully, I need use of your forge to let out a little bit of anger. If I may.
Well, we can always use extra help putting together some equipment to help stabilize some of the rubble. We'll put you to work if that's all right.
That is absolutely fine.
All right. They set you off to work, and you start to get settled in, and not 10 minutes later. Elliot, what do you do?
Just kind of waves at the people at the front, like, I'm not here to talk to you, walks past them. Just beelines towards Sagan. Stands a good few feet away, and just kind of stands there waiting for him to be noticed. Like, just waits to be noticed. Makes no quick moves, just...
So, Sega's passive perception is 15. But his head is in work. So I feel that would be a perception check with disadvantage.
Yeah, I would say so.
Can we get any worse than that? No, but a total of 8.
Lamau.
You're standing there for a good while, just staring at Sagan as he is hammering away and working the forge.
And Sega's kind of like taking like some items of clothing, like taking layers of clothing off to allow like not to overheat and everything. And you can see Sagan use every single fucking muscle he can at this piece of work. Like, hammering it, like, as in hammering a motherfucker's skull. Just...
He's beating this thing like it owes him money.
Yeah. It's probably about, I want to say, 25 minutes until looks up. Wow, you really want to do this, don't you? Okay. Looks up, sees you, misaligns the last hammer strike, and hits his own hand, like, with every fiber of his strength. And there was an audible crack!
Yeah, roll the damage.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Would that count just as, like, say, an unarmed strike, or what die would you use?
I mean, you're using a hammer.
Weapon!
No, it's just a blacksmith hammer.
Yeah, I guess improvised weapon.
Yeah, that's an I would count that as an improvised weapon.
Which
should use your unarmed, I think.
I think it does use the unarmed. I think.
Unless you're a tavern brawler, in which case it's a D4.
No, it's an unarmed strike, so 5 points of bludgeoning damage straight to the hand. Just crunch. No, not even a crack. Crunch. So that's another 5 points of damage for me, and I'm not raging, so I take all of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a scream we can hear from the circle.
Oh. Ah! But...
I wasn't trying to make you hurt yourself. I was here to offer assistance. I can help. And he, like, reaches for his hand.
It's
And
all,
you see him like rummaging in his little bag for something.
it's already black and bruised. Like
He's gonna cast Cure Wounds.
okay.
Little guy. He tries so hard. Let's see. 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. Cool beans.
Wisdom, I
I
believe.
can't.
I think Artificer is intelligence.
Artifice intelligence.
Yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 points.
Nice. Just kind of does that. Oh.
I didn't mean to startle you. I was here to offer my assistance.
Whoops.
You notice. Why you hit me with a longsword? Where did you come from, you sneaky
I
bastard?
didn't know it. I forgot that it would roll that in there.
Emerson jumps from the shadow.
No, I
Sneak
didn't do
attack!
that. I promise. No, I didn't do that. I'm not even there. I forgot that it would roll that in on that other page.
Oh, that's great. Funnily enough, with the cure wounds, you see Sagan actually calm down a lot. Just, thank you, Elliot. I know I messed up. And I have no excuse for my actions earlier.
I know when emotions are difficult to process, I like to work. And he like picks up his own little hammer from his tool belt and he's just like, I'm gonna help.
Well, we are building fortifications that can help with the rubble and debris. So if you'd like to help with the quenching and tempering, that would be grand. The tempering needs to be solid as it is supporting debris and rubble.
Okay. And he just starts tasking alongside Sagan just to give him like somebody calm to be parallel with.
Just be like, no one else go near. I am the diffuser. I am the diffuser.
And there was, when you first hit your hand, a lot of movement in your direction of people concerned because this is, what they do. And they're used to, jumping onto these right away. And just Elliot's presence immediately healing and seeing how it calmed you down, they all kind of backed off and went back to their tasks.
Yeah, by the way, on that hammer strike, I rolled a natural 2. This die
Ouch.
really wants. I'm just glad it wasn't a natural 1, otherwise. You're muted, Helen.
Probably would have missed the table and hit something below the belt.
Don't even joke about that. Like,
Axe is just playing violin in the background.
sad violin noises.
Violin.
Oh boy.
Perfect.
Put the horn down, Axe. Yeah, no, like Sagan's going to work, Sagan's going to town. Elliot, you actually see Sagan holding like the white hot pieces of work, not with tongs, but with his bare hand. But you don't see him taking damage.
She's
She's a witch.
Dedication and continuous working. I'll have you know, he just dedication.
Ah, persistence. I like it. Do you want us to roll any skill checks for this?
I would say working side by side. I don't know if I want these to be separate rolls or one roll with advantage.
If I don't recall, we had like at least you and I talked about a little bit more in depth about
Depending on what the item that you were doing would change, whether it's sleight of hand, constitution, strength. Yeah.
yeah. So mine would be mine would technically be like the strength to get the pieces forged like forged properly. While I believe Elliot's is more intelligence based to quench properly and temper properly, because that requires an eye.
That's true. All right, so go ahead. Intelligence for Elliot and the strength for Sagan.
Oh, with my intelligence modifier?
Yep.
Yes.
Plus proficiency.
Yes.
21 for Sagan.
14.
14. Well, it is something, this particular part of forging is pretty new to Elliot, so it takes a bit of teaching and coaching through it.
Yeah.
But you guys are able to get a fair amount of work done. And it helps center you away from the rage and back into a different mindset.
Yeah. But also now that Elliot is here, after a while of going through like a good pieces of material needed for this, Sagan's gonna go find the person who's in charge of the forge.
Okay.
And basically show him the hula hoop sketch. And
okay.
Go. Is it all right if I use materials to like start making this?
I think you can utilize some of the scrap stuff we have in the back. Just keep in mind, we are trying to stabilize the city while you're here.
Actually, I just remembered. Sagan does have some ingots in his backpack.
Yes, you do.
So, in which case, we'll be like, actually, I have my own materials, so it's just a matter of will you allow me use a forge for this purpose?
Yeah, we could do that, absolutely.
Hands Elliot's sketchbook, like, goes to find a desk, like, slams the sketchbook down on the table and drags Elliot, like, literally goes, we make fun stuff now.
He was certainly tasking before this. Like, you could tell he's mentally going through step by step that you taught him for this like new particular aspect that he's not used to. But now you see his eyes just light up. He's like, yes, new thing. Let's go.
So to talk shop, above table and in character, Sagan can work on the actual pieces of metal while I believe we said after last session, while Sagan works on the materials and like the actual sections and everything, Elliot was going to work on like the mechanism to and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Alrighty. And Sagan will handle the forging, the quenching, and the tempering.
Okay.
It's like, hey,
This is probably going to take you the majority of the rest of the evening. So you guys are going to end up going to sleep pretty late. Just be aware.
Sagan will probably. He needs. It's not exactly retail therapy, it's crafting therapy. So he's happy to work through the night if need be, and will happily take a point of exhaustion.
Okay. Be aware that you're probably not going to finish it in this one evening, but you
Oh, yeah.
can definitely get the project started.
Oh yeah, cool.
Wow.
Okie dokie. Do we want to do the rolls now or switch to the guys back at the tree hut?
Just roll them and let me know, and then while you guys roll them, I'm going to switch over. Was that a natural 20?
No, it wasn't, but it was an 18, and my intelligence is +7, so.
Awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna roll my 3 die. So, forging strength, quenching temper, and both intelligence. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Right. Cool. 23, 22, and 23.
Wow.
Damn.
Apparently he fucking needed this.
Yeah, you guys get a really good start on this thing. You're still going to need a couple days, but as you head through the majority of the evening, you're able to get a decent chunk done. All right. Heading back to the hut. Is there any conversation that you need to do? Is there anything you guys are you sleeping in the hut, or are you guys going to head back into town or relief camp?
Just keeps the hut up and sleep outside.
I mean, yeah, he's just sort of like, man, I really don't want to walk.
Make you a nice cozy bed.
Yeah, exactly. Just, I got my stuff. I mean, we could just set up here.
I could go steal a cot.
Maybe let's not steal one if we don't have to.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be stealing. I would just be grabbing yours and relocating it here.
That I can do. That I could do.
BRB.
Okay. So, Jules, you head back to the medical tents where Axe has been staying. And
Is
you
his bed still open?
begin to start to pick up a cot before you hear, "What are you doing?"
My friend that was staying in this bed earlier today, well, we kind of moved him across the camp, and we don't have a bed for him. And, the leg injury, can't really walk all the way back. So I'm just going to borrow
He
this.
should
Goodbye.
be here. No.
Gone.
And so you have, in fact, stolen the cot. Okay.
Do I need to roll anything
The
smoothly?
Neum back is not so much a Neum. I'm just gonna say, because it's a fucking cot.
I'm not that strong. I mean, I'm strong, but not that strong.
Plus, those things
Not
are
saying-
cumbersome as shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to
I do
imagine how
have
one.
3 limbs. 2 up front and my tail at back.
Yes, it's a cot. You can't carry it like Hercules. You're dragging it. I'm just saying, it's a whole ass bed.
And I'm a tripod.
It's a whole ass bed. No. So they're like, no, yeah, exactly. And you start to just drag it out of the tent.
Oh.
Who else is making notes? Wait,
Yeah,
Jules, are we making notes together? Is that what's happening now?
Yes, I've been adding
Okay.
a few.
That's fine. I came back over to add stuff, and I was like,
There's new stuff.
Wait a minute.
remember this? I was like, did I make this?
I added a bunch of notes on last session too during my rewatch.
Make sure I wasn't going crazy.
Yep, nope.
Oh, okay. Enjoy. There, no, Jerome, no.
From here, that looks like it was a cabinet, and I thought it was opening on its own, and you were haunted.
No, that's the door to the room. Jerome's going to go get his hair cut, but he's been sending me like beach houses, and he's like, pick the one you want. I'm like, we can't afford this. No, we cannot afford this. Anyway, as you are starting to drag it out with relative speed, you do get cut off by a couple of the weavers who are just like, sir, put it back.
No, my friend needs it. This was their bed. They were in it earlier today. They just can't
Then
get
they
back to
should
it.
be in it now. If they're not in it now, we need it for some of our others here who are in desperate need of assistance. Put it back.
But they do need it now. They just can't be
Then
here.
bring them here.
Why would I move a medically impaired patient when I could just move the bed?
Put the bed down.
Is the mattress attached to the frame?
No.
I drop the bed, I grab the mattress, and I run away.
So this you are able to get like on your head. It's still not the quickest, so please just make a strength check as you're carrying this thing and bolting. I'll let it
Can
be athletics.
Thank you.
It can be athletics.
Come on, Stargate die. Oh, that is cock, but it's almost a 20. What? Okay, I need to use different dice and clear the tray. I ain't getting nowhere.
You go to grab the mattress to lift it up and carry it, and one of the nurses just sits on it. No.
It's okay,
Can I
Jules.
try to take her with me?
You rolled a natural one. No.
I know.
It's
So the
okay.
Weaver is now sitting on the mattress. You're trying to pull it, and the Weaver in charge just goes, "Sir, you're disturbing my patients. Get out."
And I bolt the other way and then do a circle around to the hut, so they can't follow me directly.
Okay.
Alex is so perplexed. He's not even here.
What's that?
Elliot, like, sorry, Percy's expressions are just, he's so perplexed and like, why? But he's not even here, and it's so funny to me.
Oh man. Lord have mercy.
They wouldn't let me take the bed.
Booker, sorry, small interruption. Booker did this little stretch where he sat up really straight, and even like the little tips of his ears went. And it was really fucking cute. Sorry.
Buddy.
He's so small and so stupid. Hello. Oh yes, big yawn. Anyway, sorry. Axe will understand. The nurses routed you.
They really did. I tried to take the bed. I even tried to run away.
While this was happening, Athena, is there anything going through your mind at this moment? Anything you want to do?
Probably She may have moved probably from where everything happened a little closer to like Axe and the rest of everybody else. Not disassociating as hard, but she's kind of realizing like now, like frustrated herself because she got kind of vulnerable around everybody, also mad at herself for things she let slip while being vulnerable, and like kind of trying to figure out a way to like smooth her way back in and as if any of this happened, like act like nothing happened. She's also mildly, I guess, not jumpy, but definitely like glancing up anytime it sounds like somebody's coming or something is coming closer, like to see if Sagan has made his way back or not, just like on guard because she doesn't know how that's going to go again. So, not really saying anything, but definitely a lot of like clear thinking now, kind of frustrated at herself and panicky at herself, and very much on high alert.
Okay.
Kind of piddling with her, I don't know, picking at loose strings on her clothes, watching everybody, that kind of thing. People watching.
Okay. Emerson, are you doing anything at this moment?
I feel like he probably had been hanging around Athena just to like. I don't want to say like. I've been thinking to make sure she didn't feel alone, but I know that like Axe and Friend are still around as well, but like I feel like he's probably been hanging pretty close to her. But other than that, I don't know. I figure probably not really saying anything just because like he didn't want to push her to talk before she's ready.
Mm-hmm.
But just hanging around.
Okay. Is there anything else
Also,
anyone? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say also think, and I know she had her thoughts about like what she let slip and everything, and he was probably on one hand like thinking of her like hanging around making sure she was okay, and also thinking about who he had come there to find and likely wouldn't find at this point. But anyway.
Okay. As you all are drifting in your own independent thoughts, Axe a little disappointed as Jules comes back without a bed.
They caught you?
The nurse's cot blocked me.
Inspiration, you bitch.
How long have you how long have you been waiting on that one?
Like 2 seconds. I was just waiting for an opening to say it. It came to my head and then right there.
That's fantastic.
It's okay. Actually, they couldn't handle having to lose the cot. That's all right. We've got our stuff. We can set up our bedrolls in here. They'll be nice and dry no matter what. So, Well, talk about a wild day, huh?
It's been a fucking day, that's for sure.
Definitely one for the books.
For sure.
I want to say tomorrow would be better, but I don't know if that's going to be true.
You never know.
We can hope.
It's a powerful thing. Are we in what kind of soil are we on? Are we in like muddy-ish soil or like really hard stuff?
It's not super muddy. It's not like drought level, but it's your typical grasslands. in this area.
Just gonna take their claws and carve themselves out a little nest in the dirt. And
Start digging a hole.
and then use the turf as
Okay. Anyone else doing anything this evening for a night's rest?
Athena will probably probably not sleep. She'll probably lay just flat on her back, kind of as it gets that calm, like everybody's attempting to rest kind of vibe. No intentions to sleep. Mind's going too crazy, and she's, that listening to every other sound. So it'll probably be more of a just kind of laying there, absorbing everything around her, vibing, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Is she able to get any sleep tonight, or do you think you're going to have a no long rest night, point of exhaustion kind of a day?
I think she will sleep, but it'll be one of those she lays there until she just straight up passes out kind of thing.
Okay. Anybody? Oh, I see a hand or a finger. Friend.
Friend is just outside the tent, like in their mind. They're singing like, shake, 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 Sonora, shake your body, now. Work, 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 Sonora, work it all the time. And since it's the end of the day, they're just sort of using the last of their magic to create good berries for the people in the tents.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll give you the stats on those later, but they're just waiting for the two stragglers to return, and every now and then they'll just go around and cast some druidcraft to help moss bloom. So there's nice spongy, soft areas for people to lay down on if they want to.
I was about to say, if you do that while people are awake, Jules is gonna ask for a pillow, moss pillow.
Yeah. In fact, they'll grow some moss, flip it over, grow some more moss, so it's like moss attached to moss, and then hand it to you.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you said you were going to try and stay up to keep an eye out for Elliot and Sagan's return?
Yeah, so I
Are
guess
they-
I'll take first watch if they're gonna come home late.
Okay. Is anyone else taking any watch?
I'll take a watch.
Okay. And we have one more watch for those who are outside of the town. Third? Okay. Sagan and Elliot. I know Sagan was going to work through the night and take a point of exhaustion. Is Elliot capable of that, or is Elliot going to pass out next to the forge?
I would say after the first watch rolls around, he probably curled up under one of the tables and passed out.
Okay, so neither of you made it back, but you're just under a workbench.
I'm under a workbench sleeping.
I mean, realistically, Sagan doesn't need to sleep because elf. So.
Yeah, you just need a trance.
Yeah, just I'm taking a 4-hour nap, guys. I'll be right back. But yeah, no. Basically, it will come to a point where Sagan will be in the work so much, and then it's like it's like when you do a gaming marathon, and then it's that's the sunrise. I should probably go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll kind of see Elliot underneath the workbench, but grab a blanket out of his backpack and drape it over him, and then and then kind of take that 4-hour nap, but just kind of okay.
They're friends.
So the first watch you spend up trying to keep an eye out. And they don't show up. You never come back on your watch. Roll a perception check.
$15.
15.
Mhm.
It's a pretty calm evening. Some of the storm clouds have begun to roll in. Looks like it might be a darker day tomorrow than it has been. But other than that, your watch goes peacefully.
Cool. Yeah, if they don't come back, I'm just gonna sort of like fall asleep with frog on my chest.
Okay. Emerson, you said you were taking second watch?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Oh. That's no good. 9.
The watch seems to go very peacefully. Quiet. How long, by the way, does the darkness surround this tiny hut? Out of curiosity.
There's no specification. It says during a rest. So as long as I'm not doing anything like laborious,
Oh, okay.
and as long as I remain inside of it,
Okay.
so it would last longer than the tiny.
Okay. So Emerson, as you are in this, darkened area inside this sphere, it's kind of easy to drift off a bit, even with your elven heritage. And that's only disturbed by a random thunk sound on the outside of the Lehman's tiny hut, followed by, "Ah, what? I'm telling you, this place is weird." And your eyes open to see the two guards have finally decided to check out the darkness that appeared outside of town. And they are now outside of the tiny hut, and one tripped over it, and the other one is now just knocking on it, trying to find out what the hell is happening. Because they can't enter, and they can't see within it. It's just a random ball.
Just this black ball.
They just
randomly
They're
appears.
in darkness, surrounded by an opaque, and inside that darkness is an opaque sphere that you all are inside of. So you can see out, but they can't see
There's
in.
2 spheres.
There's
Yeah.
a
2 spheres?
darkness like tower around the whole thing. They're inside that, and you guys are inside a protective sphere that they cannot enter.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
I
I
didn't
always
know that
think
there were
about
2
that,
layers.
by the way. So they walk past me just like,
Uh-huh. But it's darkness, so they managed to not trip over you in the process.
it's just dark from the outside in. Once they come inside, it's kind of like during an eclipse, you know how it gets a little bit dark? It's like
Okay,
that
in
level.
that case, they're gonna roll to see if they notice you
Oh, good.
on the ground. They do. They're not. One of them is currently like feeling around the Lehman's tiny hut, and the other one is just kind of like hovering over where you're laying. I mean, it doesn't look like he's dead. He seems fine.
Oh my!
I think he's just sleeping. No, he's definitely just sleeping.
The frog's like,
And this is what you wake up to hear outside of the hut. So it's up to you if you're going to react or say anything to these two guards who are just very curious at this point and slightly nervous.
And that was just Emerson that heard
It's
that?
just Emerson's. Yeah, Emerson is the one on watch right now.
Wait. So I thought you were talking to Brian a second ago.
Well, Brian is the one who's asleep outside. So
Yeah.
he's still unaware of what's happening. You're the one
I
who was
thought you
woken
were.
up.
Okay, I thought you were
Yeah.
saying that he Yeah. Okay.
My
never mind.
apologies.
And
It's
just
okay.
to clarify, you are allowed to leave the tiny hut, and you are also allowed to leave the obscured, like the darkness sphere. Because you weren't the one that cast them, and you also were permitted to be inside both of them. The guards can enter my sphere, but from
They
outside,
cannot enter the Liamon's tiny hut.
yeah, they wouldn't be able to see inside until they come through it.
Yeah, it's just sort of a vaguely greenish colored like sphere. They can see that, I guess.
Mhm.
they're
And they're
like-
knocking on it, and it's not. They can't seem to press into it, and it's really confusing them.
I imagine them just like walking around all the way around the outside of it, trying to find a door or something, and they're like, "What is it?"
Yeah, one of them is absolutely doing that and like jamming it with a beer every now and then.
Making a tink tink tink.
That would be an amazing time for someone to use Mage Hand.
Does this wake me up?
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Cool.
Anyone who wants to see if it wakes them up. Okay.
You said make what?
My lowest was a
Perception with disadvantage.
What is
Why
mine?
is it gonna be disadvantage?
Even with
Because
disadvantage,
you're
I got a
asleep.
15.
They got to beat a what?
Even with the disadvantage, I got a 15.
I'm gonna say I got a 16, so
Okay.
with disadvantage.
Just sort of.
You got a natural one. Yeah, Jules, you're still
Oh.
passed out.
You are
The
dead to
rest
the
of your
world.
friends start to
Unfortunate.
the rest of your friends start to stir, hearing this random clanging on the hut. Yep,
Thump.
around.
He's just gonna sort of just like rub his eye a little bit. Can I help you, gentlemen? Just shouts it through the fucking thing.
Ah! Presses the ear to the hut.
It's a spell hut. Hold on. He's gonna just sort of like get his crotch, just oh, fucking Christ.
I feel
Go
like
over to the
I was
door and
gonna-
just kind of
with me already being awake, I could like come over and help you and go out together.
it'll be okay. Like, yes, please. Hey, we really should have warned them that we're gonna just like be out here.
Athena's gonna just like sleepily follow them, like very sleepy but very amused.
Oh yeah.
Like,
So
go
Axe
on.
just needs to keep the majority of Axe's body in the hut, but you can like poke your head out and be like, listen.
The hut will still remain unless like I get like 100 feet away from it, so I don't have to be
No,
inside.
you have to.
But
You have to be within the sphere for it to maintain.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's just gonna kind of hobble over, like unveil a window so he can stick his little head out.
You peek your head. So the one is just like this, like leaning against it, and you pull your head right there, and he's just like, ah. Hello.
Good
bud.
morning, evening. I don't know what time it is. Yes.
Good evening. There was a sudden darkness and some shouting from within it throughout the evening, and a very angry elf.
Yeah.
And
Growing pains. Arguments happen between friends. It's all that good shit. We're fine. We're literally just sleeping. I didn't want to go back to.
Haven't you ever been to a brothel before? This is normal.
It's just I didn't feel like going back to bed at the tent. We're trying to clear up some space in like the proper camp for some of the other people, but still staying nearby to help. I know Sagan's probably at the forge. I was gonna probably try to help with some other efforts tomorrow, maybe see if I could give some people like some healing stuff, or pick up spirits with a song. We're not like a threat. I promise you.
thought we check.
We're way too
When-
freaking tired. I got a bar through my leg earlier this week. Like we ain't doing shit.
when Athena says, "Haven't you been to a brothel before?" The one you're talking to, super flustered and is like half paying attention to you now and like red in the face. The other one who's back there like staring over friend is just like,
To the flustered wood, there's not actually any brothel stuff going on in here. You're fine.
If Jules was awake right now, he would moan so fucking loud.
I mean, there was.
After I said that, Athena's gonna like lean over to Emerson and be like, "Yeah, here's worth a shot." It's like I tried.
But yeah, it's fine. The darkness, I think, was really just to kind of make sure that we didn't bother anybody else if we were going to have like a bunch of bright stuff and flashing lights going on. We'd expected to kind of hunker down here, help like create and build a few things, maybe work out some spell stuff to sort of help in general. But you know, arguments happen. Tensions are high. Everyone's tired.
make a persuasion check for me.
Oh, fair enough. I can do that. Well, that is a 16 plus 10.
Okay,
Wow.
you are very convincing.
I
You
gave
are very
myself
convincing.
skills for a reason.
Amazing.
Don't ask me to
Yeah.
walk a rope or something
Damn.
else.
He's very good. Yes, we will. Let us know if you need anything. And he gets ready to walk away. And the other one is just like, "Did you need this?" And points down at friend who is sleeping outside of the hut with a frog.
He likes sleeping under the stars more than the sphere, so we just let them do whatever they want.
Okay.
Why not just print your note?
Yeah, y'all are doing a good job. Thank you.
No.
I haven't even opened the OneNote. I'm afraid now.
It's a work of art, and I love it.
Oh boy.
I love all of our session notes. They're great.
Now, the third watch comes around, and you wake up Jules. So Jules can have their
Covered
watch.
from the neck down in the grass
Just covered in grass.
and dirt.
Some moss.
Yep.
A little bit of everything.
So Jules, you are awoken for your watch. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Okie dokie.
Like,
Actually,
wake
no, I'm
up!
not gonna roll that
Hey,
one because
DM.
that's been my natural one all night.
DM. Is this
Mhm.
is this any kind of short and or long rest? Question mark.
This by the end of this, it will be a long rest.
Cool. Because some of us still got choked out at the beginning of the session, so I was curious.
23.
Well, that's what I said.
23.
Brothel like activity.
It is a very peaceful evening. You can hear the snores from outside of the hut from friend and the frog.
And Brian occasionally.
Peeking in through the fourth wall.
Method acting. Method acting.
I'm gonna reach my hand out and cast Mage Hand, and then send it over to the frog and give it little scritches for a minute.
It kind of does that like settle thing that frogs do when they like try to dig down deeper.
And it'll, right before it disappears, just boop, friend on the nose. That's it. As long as it's a peaceful watch. I'll start making
It is
some
a very
breakfast
peaceful.
about the time that people are going to be waking up.
All right. Morning comes. Sagan, you watch as the first lights come up in the morning and you are still hard at work at the forge. Go ahead and take your point of exhaustion. And the rest of you can take a full night's long rest.
Rest. I got my key points back. Yay.
Oh, you know, it helps if I hit confirm.
Mm-hmm.
I did that, and then I was like, why did it not do anything to my HP? And then I was like, oh, because I didn't tell it to. That's why.
to my medicine.
Do, 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 do. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-da-da. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Da-da-dum, bum, bum, bum,
Is
bum,
there
bum, bum,
anything
bum,
the
bum,
rest
bum,
of you
bum,
want to do in the morning? You're
bum.
able to get a quick breakfast here, or you guys can go into the commissary and get a cooked meal there.
Shit on a shingle? We can go have shit on a shingle. That sounds like a very commissary breakfast.
Absolutely.
Certainly
I
does.
mean, Jules said they were going to make breakfast, so why not just have him head to the commissary, grab some food for everybody, and bring it back?
Homemade shit on a shingle. I like this.
As everyone begins to wake up, Jules, you start heading into town, and there is a new kind of energy in the camp. Gossip is swirling as people are trying to get an understanding as to what could have done this.
So it feels
But
like
you're able
people are
to-
talking about the news that we got yesterday.
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay.
There is whispers and gossip throughout the camp. Throughout the medical tents, the commissary, voices can be heard with endless theories about neighboring kingdoms jealous of Esolar's success, to the voice of the Defiant taking more violent approach than they ever have before. News reports are continuing to repeat as you pass by tents, as if nothing else in this kingdom can occur besides this tragedy. Gather your food selections and head back towards the hut, passing by the forge, where you can see a still working away Sagan and a little Elliot just waking up from underneath a workbench.
Uh, I'll stop and offer some breakfast to the two of them and a little peace offering to Sagan. Been working all night, bud?
Yes, it's it helps to get the mind clear.
Yeah.
You see him turn over, turn towards you, but instantly goes,
You don't look so good.
probably from the haymakers you threw up my ribs.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Like you see him kind of lift his shirt, and it is bruised as fucking shit. Just
I can't do much, but if you don't mind, and just kind of
no, it is fine.
okay.
It is a good reminder to stay one's rage and only point it accordingly. So
Sorry, I had to hit you yesterday.
I was out of line. I realized that, and I
Reasonably so.
It was not justified, and is Athena okay?
She seems to be. She's pretty panicky from what I gleaned. I'm not sure if it's just about what had happened. It seemed like there might be even more on her mind as well. So physically, I think she might be okay. Mentally is another issue altogether.
That is justified, I suppose. It is. We find ourselves in the middle of a shit show, of which there are no intermissions.
They're right. Town's all abuzz, or I guess this is a town now. Camp. It's all about the news from yesterday. I probably heard 3 dozen theories just getting breakfast and coming on. Oh, right. Just holding a bunch of food. He wants hands out a loaf of bread to both Elliot and Sagan.
Kind of like takes enough for Sagan and Elliot, and just kind of like gently nudges Elliot with his Sagan gently nudges Elliot with his foot, just being like, "Wake up."
Quiet. He'll slowly wake up, just very grumpy, rubbing his eyes. He
Lose
doesn't
Brian?
talk much when he first wakes up.
Did we lose Brian?
I don't know.
I think.
No, I think he just had to turn off his camera.
Oh,
I saw it change and I was like, "Who's gone?" It's okay. We're good
If,
now.
if you
Sorry.
do that, by the way, Brian, it screws up the layout. Leave your camera on.
Respectfully, keep your camera on, you cunt.
Listen,
I saw it flash, and I looked
did
up
you
and I
know?
was like, he's gone.
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna use the restroom real quick.
All right.
Not allowed, damn it.
But yeah. So not only that, but like, Elliot, like, where the fuck did this blanket come from?
Yeah, he's just very sleepy and just. He's very quiet when he first wakes up, just very rubs eyes, looks at blanket, continues rubbing eyes. Probably just sees the piece of bread and just hung into the mouth.
Oh, by the way, you both noticed that Jules is covered in dirt. Just dirty as fuck. That's all.
Did you get into a scrap while I was on autopilot with the forging?
No? Why would you say that?
Respectfully, friend, you're filthy.
Oh, right. I kind of took a dirt nap last night. I love those. Turf makes a wonderful blanket.
Elliot looks like he's actually thinking about it. Like, never done that before. I wonder what that's like.
I do miss having someone with prestidigitation around. I'll have to find a bath later.
Also, could you not call it a dirt nap, because that's a pseudonym for dead?
But that's literally what it was. I dug out a hole in the ground, and I slept in the dirt
Have you
with
never?
the grass over me.
You know what? You call it what? I am too tired to even give a singular fuck right now. But, and kind of like makeshift puts the pieces of the hoop together, like minus the mechanism, just kind of like puts it together, and just like kind of goes, but we've made progress.
Ooh, these look very nice.
Eventually it's basically going to, the mechanism is going to make it kind of meet in the middle and create the hoop, as well as retract and create a bladed what is it, quarter
Polar?
staff, a bow staff.
Oh, yes, quarterstaff. Ooh, that could be interesting.
And
Thank you.
it's got one, it's a single edge, so you can, and the back of the single edge is quite flat and very durable, so you could use it to bludgeon and slice, depending on your mood of the day. But in hoop form, it is only slashing.
I like the way you think. This gives me lots of ideas for my fighting style. Thank you.
Elliot just shows a few pieces of metal that he's been trying to get to do that same almost crystalline thing that the rest of you does. Just pieces of scrap metal, maybe about yay big, but like with different crystallized effects on them. Of just like, I'm trying to get this right, buddy, but I'm too tired to explain how I did it. Just look.
Talk to me when I have caffeine.
Literally.
Oh
see
my
your
god, you're an
different levels of-
engineering student.
Yes. Your different levels of crystallization samples and such, and just kind of put my arm next to each one and see which one looks nicer. We go, that one looks good.
Shoves it in his pocket. Just says nothing the whole time.
Well, if you care to join me, I'm bringing breakfast back to the crew. Otherwise, I'll just let them know y'all are okay, and we'll meet up later.
I think I'll join you, and I think I have a few words to say to the group.
It's understandable.
Kind of like
Care to take?
like Sagan will kind of like follow, but way at the back.
I feel that.
The child being dragged to the principal's office. The slow walk down the hall.
Care to join us, Elliot?
He just drapes Albert over his shoulders, like, let's go.
And like,
We're walking.
Albert
like-
just kind of trills.
Blanket over, like hood up, just been like.
You on the lift and kind of just. Go ahead.
Here's the thing with Albert. Albert is an owl, nocturnal, and a cat, nocturnal. So Albert is doing that like slow. He's got like the narrow eyes, and he's just prills and like curls back in.
I love it. Jill's just gonna say to Elliot, care for a ride, and kind of turn around and turns their tail kind of towards them in a way that would be inviting for them to climb up.
He just uppies. I love this.
Uppies.
Oh my gosh, a baby, just uppies.
Please. Please, sir.
Lisa.
I think that's going to be what that should be one of our channel noise. Just uppies.
Uppies.
Oh. All right, I'll take everyone back to camp and kind of like
Elliot.
maybe warn Athena that someone's coming in to talk if she's awake at the moment.
Yeah.
And if she's
I mean,
not, I'm
probably.
going to ask Sagan to stay outside for a moment while we wake Athena up, so she doesn't wake up to Sagan.
I mean, you know. No. She's probably at this point, like stretching, doing little morning wake up things. And like kind of I guess sees you come in and like that not acknowledgement of like, I'm not awake enough for words yet, but hello. Kind of nod.
Oh good, you are awake. Sagan's back to talk. Kind of
Interruption.
said he promised not gonna hurt anybody else.
As you in that sentence of like Sagan's here to talk, she's like in the middle of some kind of like one of those stretches where you're on one leg and you like pull your other leg behind you, like that front calf one, and immediately like thrown off just enough. She doesn't like fall over, but like just enough to like lose balance, like other foot stomps down and is like, oh, so it's this kind of morning. Okay, good.
Yeah, sorry.
She's like, okay.
No, okay,
Cool,
no
cool,
doubt,
cool, cool, cool,
Cool.
No doubt.
no doubt.
It's just like-
Ah.
Doesn't like kind of catches herself and is like, doesn't even fully acknowledge it. It's just like, I see you brought back breakfast. Got any plans for what you're gonna make?
Well, I was hoping for a nice little sausage and gravy type breakfast.
Sounds like a plan. You want help making it?
Oh, always. Just kind of
And-
move the blanket over and set all of the stuff down. Oh no! Does anybody have any cook's utensils?
Sagan does have a mess kit, because
good.
he's been on the road a lot.
I'll say you probably have not just a mess kit, but you have actual like cooking tools.
Yeah. Oh, I do have a biscuit as well in my backpack. But yeah. Okay. Proper cooking utensils. Dina and I'll make some shit on a shingle.
Second we'll go to Athena. I just want to apologize for yesterday. I let my anger get the better of me, and I took it out on you, and you clearly had no idea that I took it out on you, and I had no right to. And I am so deeply sorry.
You see her, like, when you first start talking, you see her, like, visibly, her face doesn't change, but you see her visibly, like, stand up a little bit straighter, just like that spine straightens kind of movement.
Mm.
And she just kind of listens and keeps doing what she's doing, and hears you out. And at the end, it's just kind of like, there's a very, one of those pauses that's long enough that you're almost like, did they hear me, or are they going to say anything kind of pause. And it's finally like, it happens to the best of us, I suppose. I appreciate it. It's like a very untrustworthy acceptance of your apology, essentially.
Rightfully so. I
Like, has not responds to you, but does not actually look you in the eye at all while saying it, kind of thing. She's watching like your feet and your body, basically, more so.
I will do my best to make it up to you, and I hope in time that we can kind of get back on track to you trust in me, and kind of like brings out the 3 daggers that you gave him to sharpen, and hands them over to you, and they are honed to a fine fucking edge.
Nice. She was taken back, you know, like, not showing it, but very in her mind. It's just like, holy fucking shit, these are amazing. Like,
I'm gonna stab her with one. No.
Let's test him out.
Her response was gonna be like as she takes him back, just, well, not killing me is a good way, you know, that's a good start. It was literally
the Lannister sent
Sagan
the guards
in the hut with a knife.
Yeah. But no, she'll just, like, she'll take him back, maybe a little bit of a half smirk, but as she looks him over, and then just, well, you know, not killing me is a good way to start, I suppose.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my original intent was actually not to kill you, just to get the point across. And you can tell it's an obvious, like, joking tone, as he kind of has a half smile.
Which actually almost makes her slightly more frustrated than forgiving, of like, because in her mind it's like, she's not against making peace, but it's like, this dude literally almost killed me yesterday and now he's making a joke about it. What the fuck, kind of in her mind. And she just kind of is like, well, you definitely got it across. Breakfast is almost ready if you want a bite. Kind of a half brush off. Goes back to making breakfast.
It kind of... hold on.
Impulse roll.
No, insight check on that one.
Oh, fair enough.
And it's an 11. Doesn't exactly get it. But kind of doesn't like press any further. But kind of like, I've said my piece, gotta give them space and everything. But then turns to the rest of the group. I also wish to apologize to you all, as I am sorry that you had to see that side of me. I promise to use my words next time instead of my fists. But remind who else gave their weapons basically for Sagan to kind of like work on and sharpen? I know Athena did. Jules is in the works. Emerson, did you give Sagan your longsword to have sharpened? Can't remember.
I should have, but I don't think I did.
In which case, Sagan will say to Emerson, if at some point after I've had breakfast and possibly a nap, because I didn't realize how long I worked until I saw the sun come up. If you wish me to have a look at your sword and see if I can rehone it, I'd be more than happy to.
That'd be nice.
But until then, if there's any, I will do my best to make it up to all of you for my actions.
Okay. Athena's still just making breakfast.
So her dinner work.
You all are able to have a nice breakfast. And the day is yours. You guys have a couple locations you can check out within the relief camp. Is there anywhere that's drawing you guys, or?
Athena's probably definitely gonna go check up on her buddy in the medical tent at some point, like probably after finishing breakfast, just kind of slip away to go check on him.
Okay. Anybody else?
Jules is mostly just waiting for that phone call. If they get it.
The call from the
Tabaxi woman.
for more information.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, if they had any information who had done it.
Anybody else? Is friend nearby, or is friend getting lunch?
There's always nearby.
Oh, friends.
In game, friend is kind of like staring daggers and like sticking his tongue out whenever Sagan's not looking. But yeah, they're just sort of like using druidcraft to create spices and help with breakfast, so that we have some nice herbs and yeah. Aside from little treat for Frog every now and then. Nothing going on with friend.
Okay. In that case, we are going to start with Athena heading to the medical tents. How are you feeling walking through town now, knowing what you know about walking through this relief camp now, knowing about, what happened?
Definitely like she's got rocks in her stomach almost. Just this incredible continuous pang of guilt every time she sees people walk by, people who are injured, people who are homeless now, kids who are, on their own now, that kind of thing. Just growing heaviness in her. Like she just kind of wants to sink away in a hole in the ground. Just gone.
Okay. You arrive at the medical tent where you see Paris sleeping still. Every now and then coughing, but otherwise just kind of sleeping.
She kind of maybe looks around for a nurse just to check up on him, see if he slept well in the evening and that sort of thing.
You manage to pull aside one of the weavers that has been wandering through the tent at any given time to get an update. And she comes over. Oh, is he a friend of yours?
Yes, you could say that. He's an old friend.
Well, seems to have lost a bit of energy in the last night or so. Started having a hard time breathing, and we're keeping a close eye. We're not really sure what exactly happened there, but we're just keeping an eye.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Is it all right if I sit with him?
Of course, go ahead.
Thank you. She kind of makes her way over and kind of sits at the edge of the bed, trying not to wake him up if she doesn't have to, just to check in on him. Mildly, somewhat concerned about the whole breathing thing, weighing options in her head, just kind of observing.
Okay.
Comfortable silence of him sleeping and her thoughts of everything that's going on at the same time.
Having his presence here is definitely a comfort. Again. Yes. Definitely a comfort. You do hear some more ragged breathing than you've heard before. That was probably there the day before, but harder to notice in the seeing him again excitement. But he's there. Just sleeping.
Definitely an old familiar comfort she hasn't had in a very long time. That is nice to have again, but almost feels not wrong, but odd. I just not had it in so long.
She's kind of her hair's like in a braid and she's got it over her shoulder and she's kind of playing with the end of her braid and listening to him and thinking and trying to sort out some mess and kind of, doing sweeps every now and then, watching exits and looking at everybody else that's in here as well.
Make a perception check as you're in this tent and listening.
21.
21, wow.
21.
You hear, there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of gossip, a lot of chatter. You can hear a few of the guests visiting friends or family in this tent talking about the recent news. Theories of overseas saboteurs coming in, constantly jealous of the discovery of Aetherweave that had not been discovered on other nearby islands and kingdoms. Esolar is known for being very insular. It does not share its technology outside of the country. So it's not unheard of for others to try and smuggle the technology out of Esolar. So a lot of theories of neighboring kingdoms trying to use this to destabilize and gain access to Esolar. There are also some theories that the members of the weaveless communities, the more religious zealotry type communities, have grown sick of their voices not being heard in the kingdom because they happen to disagree with the use of Aetherweave altogether and using this as a method of tearing it down. There's also rumors that the voice of the Defiant is involved, and despite the fact that they're known for things such as hostage negotiations and destroying equipment, that perhaps this was an attempt to destroy equipment that went so far awry. You also hear a lot of conversation of, but how could this have been so destructive? A single bomb should not have been able to take down the entire city in this way. What was wrong with the minds to make this happen?
Definitely has her thinking back into it, knowing, obviously agreeing with the whole one bomb shouldn't have been big enough because knowing it was not that big of a satchel that she delivered. And her thoughts start to wander, kind of wondering if people knew that the mines were so, I guess, structurally unsound might be the way to put it. If that was something that nobody knew about, or she starts wondering if it was known about and the families that worked in with the mines, families like hers, knew that it was and tried to cover it up, and starts asking herself a lot of questions of her own. Wondering if this is something that could have been avoided if she hadn't delivered that package, or if the mines were so unstable that one bomb caused this much destruction, if this would have happened anyway. Just a lot of thoughts running through her mind. That sort of thing.
Okay. While you sit in the medical tent, thinking and mulling all of this over, are the rest of you staying in... Well, the hut at this point has vanished. Are you going into town? Or are you staying put? Or into the camp?
I don't think he's going to recast it yet, but Axe does want to reach out to somebody on his sending phone.
Okay.
So, you know, he's going to hang back for just a little bit to sort of be a thing of like, I will take my own sweet time getting in there so I can stretch my leg. You guys go on without me. Like, please don't let me hold you up. Like, kind of thing. Which, to be fair, is a little bit true because I'm sure his leg still fucking hurts.
And while you would normally be getting some form of pain medication within the Weaver's tent, however limited, because supplies are limited, you have not had that this evening or this morning.
That's right.
And Jules, you keep checking your to see if you've gotten anything and you haven't heard yet. But you also knew it would probably be a couple days. You're muted.
Damn it. To that point that Axe was talking about, Jules would also kind of stay behind at that and offer to Axe, I'm actually heading to the medical tent myself, if you would like a little bit of stability. Not in a rush, but I'm heading that way.
He really needs to make this call. I'm gonna try and stretch it a little bit and take kind of my sweet time with that. Mull over a couple of things. I'm not used to being around so many people for so long. How about I meet you at the gate, and then you can give me a hand from there. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Just like legit, like camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like there's an adjective here I'm trying to find, like in a
Friendly
camaraderie
manner.
Pat. Yes. Just like I'm not ignoring your thing, but also I need a few minutes to myself.
Well, in that case, Jules reaches behind them and kind of digs around a little bit in their tail pouch and pulls out a pill bottle and hands you over a single pill. Says, "I know it's not much, but this is what I can spare for now. It'll help with the pain if you're going to be walking around on your own. Just
Thanks.
I'd stay away from alcohol for the
Fair
day.
enough. No issues. Can do. I actually have water in this one.
Good.
which on its own is amazing. Like, yes, the water skin with water in it.
Just give me a quick call when you're at the gate. I'm gonna head over to the medical
I'll
tent.
probably need your help from there for you.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you. He's just gonna like hum glug, be like, "Oh, that helps."
And I will remove that from my inventory.
Thank you so much. That was so nice. He would have just mustered through, I promise.
You're welcome. I have a very limited supply, but you're welcome.
Okay. Sorry. So once Jules is out of earshot and once he's actually like given himself like a little bit of stretch to try and do that, he's gonna call up Arden, his the gnome guy who did his hand, who is his contact in the other city. I think he's still in the Binding Wastes.
You see that face, Elliot?
He's still in Zavere.
What is happening?
Your arm is happening, and Elliot is here.
He still has his arm, right? It hasn't gone missing? Okay. I swear to God, if you like a Bucky Barnes thing in the middle of the night.
Yet.
I think that's only because Elliot slept elsewhere.
That
I'll let
is
you know that
very-
I just rolled for impulse to see if he will be stealing it anytime soon, and I rolled a 3. So do with that as you will.
Swear to God, he's
Just gonna
be
point
so
out that if you want to do anything sneaky sneak on your fellow player characters, you just send me a message and we'll make some rolls.
good. Good. Wonderful. Okay, sorry. So he's calling up Arden. Because he wants a little bit more information, and also he needs to give him the update of like, hey, so the guy is probably dead.
Mhm.
It's a little hard to find the criminal assholes when nobody's actually looking for them, but Anyway, sorry. So he's gonna call up Arden.
All right, you call up Arden, and
Yeah.
it's not long before you hear, "Who the fuck is this, and what do you want?"
It's Axe, and it's almost noon. The fuck you mean? What do I want?
That was a long night. It's a long night.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Up here in the relief camps, it's great. Let me tell you.
Oh.
What do you want?
Look, do you have any more information on any movement of these guys? I've been scouring everywhere that I can. I'm pretty sure the Kinku that gave me the tip in the first place is gone because he was on an upper level that's now gone. And the warehouse areas where whatever the fuck his name was supposed to be, the guy I was trying to find for your here, those are also gone, and he may or may not be dead. He was apparently alone in the warehouse, and I don't think a lot of people are trying to find criminal assholes right now. So yeah, and considering I can only move at about half my normal speed until my leg stops having been injured. Anyway, do you have any information, any new movement, anything you can give me so that I can kind of direct where to go from here vis-a-vis?
Yeah, no, I gotta tell you, when an entire city crumbles to the ground, not a lot of shit happens after that for a while. Things kind of calm down,
Yeah.
so I don't know yet. If something picks up, I'll be sure to let you know so you can deal with this fucker for me, because if you don't, then I'm gonna have to wring both of your necks.
It's not my fault the city imploded.
But you'll be there in my reach.
Am I? Aren't you gonna need a step stool?
What do you want, Axe? What else do you want, Axe?
Look, again, as soon as you get any information, let me know. I will tell you, most likely that Kinko is taken out of it, which does suck. They were pretty nice because everything from 4 and up was destroyed, and all of the warehouse sections also seem to have been destroyed. If you can give me a general idea of anything that you may want from that area, I can try to get into it, but I honestly have no fucking clue if it's stable enough for people yet. So I guess there's some updates from ground zero, as it were, that you can kind of store away for later.
If at any point in time you feel like digging in the rubble and see if you can find any of my sand that they keep stealing to use for snorting, that would be lovely. But
Anyway, yeah. I mean, I can definitely try. Honestly, maybe I can find something in the remains, like rubble, something like that. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get it to you, but if I can find it, maybe you can pull some strings on your end. I'll take a look.
Let me know. See what you can find. It's not for playing like that. It's for building shit. I'm fine.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Also, I can't even, again, cannot imagine how much lack of feeling you have to snort that stuff. Anyway, I'll see what I can find. Let me know if you hear anything. And Jesus Christ, and you're not.
If I find out that network is moving again, you will be my first call.
Thank you very much. Also, I've got a rabbit here who says he can do better than you. So if you need an apprentice,
Excuse
I'll
me?
let you know. Just letting you know.
I'm
just-
sorry. Is that a lack of appreciation I hear in your voice? Because I can take the fucking thing back. You don't need it.
It's me saying you have a potential apprentice who might help if we're ever down that way. He's a kid really interested in tech, and one of
Well, I would make a lovely teacher. Say so myself.
yes, you would. Just fingers crossed behind his back. Just yes, you would. Anyway, anyway, thank you, Arden. I'll let you know if I find anything, and hopefully stay safe. I have no idea if whatever caused this is spreading, so stay safe.
That would suck. Hangs up.
Christ on a crutch. Anyway, this guy. He's just sort of like, I guess I have to figure out if I can get down to level 8. There is a level 8. That would be fun. Okay, and then he's gonna hobble off toward the tent. Or toward the front gate so he can meet up with Jewel.
Okay. Anybody else? What are you doing this morning? Emerson, Elliot, Jules, Sagan?
Jules has a thing if nobody else does.
Okay.
Sagan's going into his trance/nap.
Just in the middle of the field that's no longer protected, or do you go into town to do it?
He'll go into his tent and plonk his ass down, cause boy be tired.
Okay. Jules?
Jules is going to go back to the medical tent that he attempted to steal the cot from, and walk up to the nurse who stopped him.
Pop locked.
And yeah, and attempt to apologize and ask if there's anything he could do.
So you see that this weaver is currently very occupied. It looks like they're stitching up and cleaning or restitching and cleaning an old wound on another individual. And they're about done when you start. Like, it's like you block their light. And she's just like, if you could please, oh, for fuck's sake.
Look,
I
I'm
kicked
sorry
you
about
out.
last night. I'm here to apologize. I'm sorry I tried to steal my friend's cot back and give it to them. They're gonna come back here. But while they're making their way here, I thought I'd offer my help.
On an 11th hour of a 12th hour shift. You want to help?
Yes.
Put the cot back. And you see it's still in the middle of the tent where you dragged it.
I don't say a word and turn around and move the cot back to where I found it.
Just check linens and shit. And like calls over to another weaver. Can you please occupy them? Goes back to stitching, and you're given some like basic tasks that are easily done.
Perfect. And I'll just wait for the call from Axe and then head out to the tent, escort it back. Or head out to the gate.
Yep.
I attempt to make amends.
Emerson, were you doing anything? Or Elliot?
He's probably following Jules around like a lost puppy. But upon Jules walking towards the medical tent, he's like, I'm gonna stand right outside. They're gonna put me back in bed. No. I'm gonna stand
Jules goes
right
into the
here.
tent and Elliot's just standing in the middle of the walkway, just staring.
I'm just, no. Just,
Emerson, are you tagging along with any of these groups, or are you just kind of...
I think he probably would have tagged along behind Jules.
Okay.
I don't know that he would have. Yeah, he might have offered to help somewhere, but he's less likely than Jules to offer services this time, at least. But just looking at everybody, seeing if he recognizes somebody.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Okay. Had a weird moment there. I was looking over here for my dice, and they're all over here. Why does it have to be like this today? I need to pull up that other page. 14.
14.
Mhm.
Looking around, you don't see anyone particularly familiar based on what you're looking for right now. You do, however, oh, that's what I forgot. Okay. You do see someone wearing an older gentleman, hair pulled back and it like a loose like braid, deep green and brown robes, and part of the logo for the Archivist Collective.
Okay.
Which you would know to be, yeah, a useful individual.
Useful. I was going to say,
speak to.
useful little bit of information there.
Mm-hmm. So you do with that what you will.
A little bit of spice to it.
I was going to say,
Little bit.
I feel like he. I feel like he won't want to go up to them right now.
Okay.
Just because the other members of the group are close by.
Okay. In that case, friend. Where is friend?
I feel like friend is always invisible, and then this is what happens when we call out to him. Them.
I just love it how it's every time it's just, where is he? Nobody knows.
Yeah. Friend's been in the background delivering good berries, helping use their medical skills to, like the wisdom they learned from Grandella, to help heal people and make sure everybody's doing okay. Do they happen upon the friend of, is it Athena?
You would see where Athena is currently sitting within the medical tent.
Okay, unwillingly, or willingly, they just kind of like make rounds and sort of stop by and like check on them.
Okay. Do you want to make a medicine check?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Is this your friend?
Yeah. Old friend. Haven't seen him in a while, but we kind of found each other in this whole mess, so just kind of checking in on him.
Oh, it's got a cough, huh?
Yeah, they said, nurse said it's kind of worsened over the last day or so. Don't really know why, but
Well, I can try something a little bit more advanced on them if you want, but I can't make any promises, of course.
If you think it'll make him feel better, then I'm open to anything.
Sure. And I grab a blacksmith hammer and I go, it's good.
Ah! Immediate flashback.
Oh,
It was
Gallagher.
surprise! It was Sagan all along, pretending to be
Sneak
Fred.
attack. Yeah. Friend and Sagan are the same person.
With your 19 that you had there for your medicine check,
Uh-huh.
you will pick up also as what like the Weavers did that the breathing is very, very shallow
Mm-hmm.
and wet. It's almost as if he probably breathed in a lot of the dust and debris, and it's caking the inside of his lungs. It's not something very good, which is why he's still being held here intensive care.
Yeah.
So on top of being blind, it looks like he breathed in a lot of it as well.
Ooh, boy. Okay. I would like to cast air bubble on him. That means that he'll have fresh, clean, dry air. And like if he coughs something out, it'll end up outside of the air bubble.
Okay.
If that's
It's like a magical nebulizer to help.
yeah, it's what I
It's a good
use.
way to think of it.
Yeah, and
I
it's
know
what
all
use.
about nebulizers.
Me
So
too.
nebulizers are great.
It's,
They give
it's
me
what-
headaches,
Oh no.
but I'm allergic to steroids, so
Oh. Just
I
makes my
pass
throat
on I'm
hurt.
allergic to steroids. It's such a pain.
Yeah, and then if I can, I just want to use like my medicine skills and my druidcraft to sort of like maybe help pull a little bit of that grossness out of their chest. Like
A lot of the stuff in the chest is like debris from the fallen buildings and stuff, so it's not really easy to craft remove that.
oh no,
but-
never mind. But like licorice root or something that'll sort of help like cough suppressant.
Mhm. Just make me a. Do I want to make an Arcana check to go with how you're utilizing the magic, or do I want to make this a second medicine check?
Could be survival also.
It could be survival. Use survival. Use
Okay.
survival.
13.
Okay. It's not perfectly effective,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems to clear up a bit. He seems to be breathing a little bit easier, at least for now, especially with the air bubble kind of acting as an air tank
Yeah,
to get him something fresher.
Oxygenation, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll sort of look over at Athena and I'll just kind of like give like a half smile. And then I'll go talk to the nurses and the medics that are
Weavers. The medical
Weaver.
professionals are known as weavers.
And I'll just I'll druidcraft some of the like the herbs that I used for the and just for them to use on anyone who's like coughing, just to help them cough up a little bit more. And yeah, I'm just basically helping out in the tent as I have been since this this whole shebang started. But more importantly than anything, just keep an eye on everybody in the group that I can see, and
Okay.
I'll give Athena
This is a pretty. Okay.
pat on the shoulder as I go on to help other people.
All right, Jules.
She'll smile back at you. PT does.
Is this in the medical tent that I'm?
This is all in the medical tent that this is happening. Yeah.
That's all. Just wanted to be curious.
You guys spent quite a while helping out. Those of you who can access back to being confined to a bedside. you had your moment of freedom. Elliot
You
is
tried.
kind of just hanging outside of the tent. Do you go anywhere, or are you just waiting? Because you know
He's-
Sagan's not with them. Sagan's sleeping somewhere.
Yeah, no, he's standing like right outside of the tent. Probably like if you step up the doorway and look to the right, he's just standing right out of view. So if they look outside, they still don't see him.
Okay.
You find a little hole and is just watching
I-
the jewels.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, I feel
Uh,
like Emerson might have like stepped inside, kind of wandered a little bit just to see, just to again to see if he knew anybody. And then I feel like he probably, since he doesn't have as much to contribute as some people, I feel like he probably would have wandered back outside, probably to keep an eye on Elliot.
The rabbit must be monitored at all times.
Apparently.
Adult supervision.
We must protect, even if from themselves.
Even from itself.
I mean, how many times did you get up out of bed?
He was fine. It's just a concussion. It's fine.
As you all continue to work, we're going to take a break there. So, having worked quite a bit in the medical tent, most of you at least, some of you outside of the tent, some of you catching up on long needed sleep, a good chunk of the day has gone by, and it's lunch. So if you guys would like to sneak off to the commissary to get some food,
This is always down to eat.
axe it. If you want to try and escape, you can.
I would assist with that. if he wants.
I don't know if he heard me. Does Axe intend to escape the medical tent again for lunch?
Depends how closely are they watching him.
Not very, because your injuries are at this point just to pain relief. You're not as severe case as some of the others who are here, who are on the brink of life and death. You are relatively stable, so they're not watching you too hard.
Okay, I think once he gets his like pain management given to him, he's probably just gonna like gather most of his stuff and like legitimately kind of start heading out, because he doesn't want to take up a bed that could go to somebody else, because he knows that there's probably gonna be other people that they find in the rubble and stuff. And he'll be in pain, but he can get around. And if he can just come back by here every bit, be like, hey, I vacated the bed. You guys somebody else needs it more than me. Can I just like come by once every few hours to like get some pain management? He's probably just gonna talk to a nurse and like let her know, like, hey, that bed's empty now. Sorry, we tried to steal it last night.
Just make a persuasion check.
I'll be
You
back
are
for
actively
Vicodin.
telling them.
I'm pulling a Dr. House. I'll be back for my Vicodin.
Oh God.
I got a 8 plus 10 is 18 for persuasion.
You are very convincing, and it takes. There is a moment where the individual double checks your wound, make sure it's packed right, looks you over before selling you. Fine. Just make sure you get checked daily, and you come back. You have issues.
Yeah, I want to keep the leg intact, but I'm not nearly as bad off as anyone else here. So I'll keep it easy, take lots of rests, and I'll be coming back by regularly for additional like pain management help, whether it's lay on hands or whatever else you got going on. Or sorry, not lay on hands. That's not a thing here. Sorry, whether it's a cure wounds to help or it's some kind of medication.
What is the strange magic you mentioned?
Sir, this is no kind of place.
Ancient forbidden magic of the gods.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm I'm sorry. That's part of the menu of the brothel. Lay on hands.
That same guard in the back just blushing.
Anyway.
So do you all start heading towards the commissary? Are you picking up Sagan along the way, or are you just leaving him?
Has it been about 4 hours?
I'll say yeah. It's early afternoon, and you guys woke up relatively early, so
He'll probably be fine. We can at least toss a thing and be like, hey, we're going this place. You good? Yes, no.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still out. All right, cool. Like that kind of thing.
Like, you see him, like, he's still laying in his bed, but, like, that, you know, the half-awake state you are when you wake up and still debating whether you want to stay an extra hour or get up and be productive? Is that moment of, like...
5 more minutes.
It's like, I'll catch up with you, just... If y'all have never heard an elf snore, you have now.
Jingle bells.
It's canon now. Sagan snores and jingle bells.
Percy, you look like you really want to say something.
Oh, the Percy just sent a message
their
that
computer
the
shut off.
computer just
Computer
suddenly
froze.
shut off.
I don't even see a Percy, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're still connected if their computer shut off.
There we go.
I have
His
like I
computer's
have
It
just
just
like
says
a loading
unstable.
square.
right?
Yeah, it says
And
unstable internet connection.
pop in the browser.
Well,
I'm sure they'll go back into their spot when
Now
the
it
camera
is.
goes on.
All messed up.
Don't go into the night.
Slight temporary
Yeah,
shuffle.
there
There
we
we go.
There we go. All right.
Connecting.
As you head to the commissary, passing by the towns and oh nope, we lost Percy again.
Oh,
no.
Slight temporary
Right.
shuffle of the layout. I'm not fixing to do anything with that right now.
Well, I'm just going to keep talking, and I'll probably be like way between a couple screens, but it's fine. As you walk towards the commissary, you can't help but notice the continuous flux of people around the message board has only increased today. The news of the cause of Elysia's destruction has understandably caused a stir, which can clearly be felt here. So many are seeking passages out of camp and making desperate attempts to find protections for the road. Still, one individual stands out to you all. A human man is approaching this board to post a sign. The shield sworn notices and yells out at him, "I told you no. You're simply causing panic and discourse, and I won't have it." The man yells back, "The people have a right to gather. You can't tell us we can't meet to discuss everything that's happened." She responds, "Never said you couldn't gather, Kalis. Just I won't help you spread your panic." She reaches over and removes the flyer, rolling it into a ball and throwing it to the ground as the man storms off.
Is the shield sworn still chilling around the sign after he storms
The
off?
shield sworn is at the corner of the message board, but has taken and just kind of like tossed the poster on the ground, but hasn't really. It's still just kind of there.
I'm gonna mage hand and grab that flyer and bring it over to us.
Are you doing this stealthily or just?
Yes, stealthily.
Then roll me stealth.
Please have high stealth. So 14.
14. All right, slipping through the crowd. There are a couple who give it an odd stare, but you're able to scoop up that poster. Let's just see real quick. No. Scoop up that poster unnoticed by the shield swarm. You pull it out, and the poster reads, "Call to assembly. We are under siege by the voice of the Defiant. It is time we strike back. Gathering tonight." And it indicates a location.
Definitely passing this about.
Yeah.
This is not the time for baseless accusations. We don't know enough. He understands. He's just disappointed.
I don't know what is worse.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I mean, the thing, like he gets it. He understands wanting to have someone to blame. This is there's not enough here, and that could very easily turn into a mob of angry, pissed off people that do a lot of more damage. He's looking at this flyer like, and then passes it to whoever's next.
While that's true, it's not necessarily baseless. They are the most vocal about taking the Aetherweave from the mountain.
Athena's like, I'm surprised it just took him this long to actually put blame on anyone. It's been, God, what, a week? Maybe?
4 days. You're on 4 days.
But the thing is, the thing is, with a group like that made up of a bunch of angry, scared people who don't actually know where to direct that, that's gonna. I get why the Shieldsworn don't want them to be gathering for this. They want to have more information to give their people first, because that's just going to be an angry mob tearing through an already destroyed city. That's not good.
That Kalis person, I think that's what I heard. Seemed to be pretty adamant about knowing who it was. Maybe we could talk to him alone, either at this location at this time, or we find him beforehand.
Let's try to find him beforehand. The city doesn't need an angry mob storming through with torches and pitchforks.
I agree to that for sure.
That's not going to help anybody, especially because when it comes to the voices of the Defiant, they don't have anybody to go to. So if they just find somebody in their own ranks who disagrees with some things and sounds like a voice of the Defiant, it could easily turn on them and become a huge brawl, which again, given our limited resources, we also don't really need.
Oh, absolutely not.
So let's
that
try
is the thing about being a voice. There's no face.
Yeah, I like your idea to find him beforehand and see if he does know something. Maybe we can try to look into it for him and make him hold off, and then we can also share whatever we find with the people actually in charge of the city.
Yeah.
They
definitely
right?
want to learn what he knows.
Okay. Is everybody else okay with that?
It's about this time the Sagan
Works for me.
It's about this time the Sagan comes in. Kind of heard like the back end of that conversation, and asks to see the poster. Kind of reads it over. This could be dangerous.
It's kind of what we came to.
But at the same time, this might be an opportunity. I'm not saying that the Defiant that are even about right now. But if this is a mass assembly against a group of people, they will send a couple of people from that group to keep an eye on and see what they know and kind of report back.
Right. You have to worry about infiltration again, don't you?
It was infiltration that started this whole thing.
Okay, so we combine the ideas. We go with what Jules says about trying to get there a little early, try to talk to the guy and see if we can kind of get some information, and maybe some of our more sneaky people and kind of like gestures to the others can who know what they're doing can keep an eye out for anybody that looks, well, as shady as us.
And that's a tough act to fill.
Ah, yes, truly. We cast the most shade here.
You say that towards the 6'2" brick shithouse of an elf.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, he probably says this while looking down at Elliot, quite literally, because Elliot's like a foot shorter than everybody. And also looks like a baby.
Emerson.
That's the plan. I'll probably stay out. Keep lookout. I have pretty good eyes for finding people like myself.
Emerson, you were gonna say something?
Not even Emerson. I coming in late, I missed half of what was said, and then when I did get here, I just wasn't paying attention, so I have no clue what's going on.
Basically, someone put up a flyer to call a mass assembly against the Defiant and the Voice of the Defiant because they're trying to find blame. but instead the shields want a way that is going to incite panic.
Will.
Which it will. Not only panic, but also possibly make an angry mob out of scared people who are likely, and when I say likely, I mean very, very likely, to do something that's very stupid.
Cool.
And the general notion
I was just sitting here like I missed half of it and then was here but still missed the other half of it.
Go see
As a norm.
So, and we're basically like gonna attend the assembly, but just to keep an eye out, kind of trying to contain it, but also keep an eye out to see if there's any infiltration from the Defiant, because they could send people there just to keep tabs on.
Like a good chunk of our group wanted to talk to the guy before the meeting.
Yeah.
To see what's going on and see if maybe they can stop the general meeting and just deal with this ourselves.
And if we can't stop it, at least we can be there for in case shit goes down.
Yeah.
If shit hits the fan.
And there are multiple fans and multiple shits.
It happened.
Rain and
What?
faces.
Shit? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So what are you guys doing now? Are you gonna try to track this guy down, or are you gonna wait for the meeting?
What time did the poster say for the meeting?
7.
And it's now
Like 2.
Right.
You had a few hours.
5 hours.
I'd say we give it a couple of hours, regroup, then go find him, and because if we do it too early, it's more time for them to kind of just, tell us to fuck off and just do the meeting anyway. But if we catch it at the sweet spot just beforehand,
Set him at 6:30.
it's like, hey, we want a word.
Buddy.
Hey, friend. Not you, friend.
If that's the case, probably about 5:30ish, I'll head out and try and find him. If he's not at this place, sneak around and get some eyes.
Make a investigation check as you're looking.
Oh,
And
that
what's
was
everybody else doing?
that was me giving the plan
Okay.
to the group. But
To everybody else, then never mind. Then
Yeah,
then I am not speaking yet. Do not
if
listen to
everybody's
this.
okay with that plan, I'll make the roll.
You're the
I'm
D-
okay with that plan.
Sagan will kind of when the time comes, basically provide security for the assembly, because Sagan can't sneak to save his fucking life. He sticks out like a
You
bit of a
don't
sword.
say.
he sticks out a bit.
Which should I roll first, perception or stealth?
Well, this right now is just perception or actually investigation to see if you can get eyes on this guy before the event.
Do I wanna? 15 investigation.
15. It takes a while, but you do spot this human through the crowd. Looks like he's talking with some other individuals. Tries to put up another flyer a couple times and keeps getting shot down by other members of the Shieldsworn. Because he's not just using the message board, he's just going around posting flyers and they're being quickly removed.
I'm gonna
But
follow
you're able to
behind him.
kind of track him. Now you're going to need to make a stealth check.
I would like to stealthily follow him and send intermittent updates to the group through the sending phone, just at his location, where he's heading, what he's been doing. That's a 17. You know what? I'm gonna use my my cot blocking inspiration and reroll that.
Okay.
Motherfucker, it's the exact same thing. 17.
You do have 2 inspiration because you ran the sub
I know,
today,
but
but 17
I wanna
is
use both.
plenty. 17 is plenty. You are able to keep track of him, remain relatively, and you kind of stand out, but you're able to blend in with the crowds because most people are worried more about themselves right now than anybody else. And you're able to keep a distance as you approach the time for this meeting that is to occur. And as you all continue to keep track of this new player on the field, that is where we will pick it up next time. Nice.
Alrighty. Well, thank you to everyone who came in and watched. Yeah. Next week, we will not be playing, but we'll try to do Through the Weave. I won't get my hours until... Well, I won't get my shift pattern until Monday. I have a meeting with the boss. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the DM, and thank you to the players. And you know what? Just because I can, I'm gonna run the intro at the end again.
I was gonna say, can we end on the intro?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Let's make it an intro.
Why not?
Thank
It works either way. It works for opening credits and closing credits.
I'm stealing
Well,
Ethan's
thank you.
headphones so I can hear it this time.
Thank you guys
We're
for,
gonna
as you're
stand
setting
over.
that up, thank you guys for playing. I hope you had a great time. Thank you to
Ah.
everyone who decided to watch, whether here on Twitch or in the future on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy it as we continue to dive into the intrigue of the world of Esolar.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
good fun.
Thanks for joining us.
No worries at all. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Wait, did we get ads?
Okay. I did,
no,
but I'm good.
All right, we'll wait. But besides, I need to turn off the Spotify music anyway.
Oh, we're back on again.
Just let me know when the ads are gone.
That's gone.
All gone? Cool. All right, let's do it. then, ooh,